A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is set to hold urgent talks on Thursday with leaders and officials from approximately 30 nations. This meeting, dubbed the Coalition of the Willing, is aimed at securing fair terms for an end to the war that has ravaged Ukraine since February 2022. Among the leaders expected to participate via video link are prominent figures from Germany, Britain, and France, highlighting the international support for Ukraine's plight. The urgency of these talks comes as Kyiv officials feel the pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump's demands for a swift resolution to the conflict. Trump has emphasized the need for Ukraine to adopt a realistic stance regarding a peace plan that may involve territorial concessions to Russia. This statement reflects a broader concern among European nations regarding their own security in the face of ongoing hostilities. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, along with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, has suggested to Trump that they finalize the peace proposals collaboratively with U.S. officials over the weekend. There are indications that further discussions could take place in Berlin early next week, regardless of American involvement. The key issues at hand revolve around the territories and concessions that Ukraine may be willing to make, as the complexity of the negotiations continues to unfold. Merz acknowledged the difficulties in these discussions, attributing them to Russian President Vladimir Putin's relentless warfare against the Ukrainian civilian population and his apparent strategy of stalling negotiations. European leaders have described the talks as being at a critical juncture, with Zelenskyy indicating that Ukraine will coordinate with European countries on a bilateral level in the coming week. A regular summit of European Union countries is also scheduled in Brussels at the end of next week, further emphasizing the urgency of the situation. Trump's attempts to mediate a settlement have faced delays, with previous deadlines for an agreement having already passed without achieving a breakthrough. Meanwhile, Russia is keen to demonstrate its engagement with Trump's peace efforts, likely to avoid additional U.S. sanctions. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has stated that Russia has communicated additional proposals to Washington regarding collective security guarantees, which Ukraine and Europe assert are necessary to prevent future aggression. However, Lavrov did not disclose specific details of these proposals. In a pointed remark, Lavrov accused Europe of prolonging the conflict, suggesting that Western nations are primarily focused on achieving a ceasefire to regroup before potentially re-engaging in hostilities against Ukraine. This rhetoric underscores the complexities of the geopolitical landscape surrounding the war. Amidst these diplomatic efforts, Ukraine has showcased its military capabilities through a series of significant drone attacks. Notably, Ukrainian drones targeted a Russian oil rig in the Caspian Sea, marking a first for such an operation, and successfully halted extraction activities from over 20 wells. Additionally, Ukraine executed one of its largest drone strikes to date, leading to the temporary suspension of flights at all 4 major Moscow airports for 7 hours, as well as imposing restrictions on air traffic in 8 other Russian cities. The Russian Defense Ministry reported intercepting 287 Ukrainian drones across various regions, illustrating the ongoing intensity of the conflict. This display of military strength serves as a counter-narrative to the Kremlin's portrayal of an overwhelming invasion, as analysts suggest that Putin seeks to negotiate from a position of strength. However, despite the aggressive military campaign launched in February 2022, Russia has only managed to capture around 20% of Ukrainian territory, raising questions about the effectiveness of its military strategy. As the situation develops, the world watches closely to see if these urgent talks will lead to any meaningful progress in resolving the conflict. The stakes are high, not only for Ukraine but for the broader European security landscape as well. With both diplomatic and military maneuvers underway, the path to peace remains fraught with challenges and uncertainties. The coming days will be crucial in determining the future of Ukraine and the region as a whole. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.